This is just a simple wee film I'm making to show you how to make one of these rubber pellet holders. It's just cut from the side of an old welding boot and holes punched into it for your pellets to go in and out of. I used to use these years ago when I was still hunting with single shot air rifles, and they were very quick and easy to get a second pellet into the breech from without hoping for pellets in your pocket or tins of pellets rattling about or spilling on the ground. Now this one's 5 cm by 7 cm and you'll be able to get about 28 pellets into it. This bigger one holds 50 and that's 11 cm by 6 cm. Or you can draw around an old pellet tin for a round one and that'll hold about 30 pellets into it at about 1 cm apart. So long as you remember to put a tongue on one end of it so you can punch a hole or two to thread a bit of paracord through to hang around your neck. Whatever size and shape you make these, just remember, don't make it too heavy or awkward because it's going to hang around your neck and it'll only get uncomfortable for you. Now these aren't a new idea. You can actually buy stuff very similar to this on the market for a little money. But if you have the right tools and an old welding boot, you can make them for more or less nothing. Now to do this project, you'll need a piece of cardboard to make your templates out of. I cut this out of a cereal box. You need a ballpoint pen, a set square, a good strong sharp pair of scissors. You'll need a hole puncher. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different sizes of holes in it. I know not everybody will have one of these lying about their house. They use them for punching extra holes in likes of leather belts and straps. But if you do a quick web search, you can pick these up for as little as £4 or £5, or you can buy something a little more robust like this one for about £8 or £9. And you'll need some paracord or some form of strong cord, plus an old Welly boot. Now don't worry if you don't have an old Welly boot. I went and asked the farmer whose ground I shot over and he gave me 1 or 2 Welly boots that I could use this for, so long as you pick and choose where you cut your pieces out of. Obviously avoid the damaged parts. You'll make plenty of pellet holders out of. So we'll get to it. I'm just drawing a simple rectangle here, 5 cm by 7 cm. This is so I can cut it out and make a template, so I can draw around it and make as many pellet holders as I like without having to remeasure it out again. I'm using the top of an old milk carton here to draw around instead of a compass to make the tongue for the 2 holes to attach my paracord through. Then take your time cutting this out. Since this is your template, the neater you make it, the neater your end product will be. Then take your welly boot and cut it off just at the ankle. Since the upper part is the only bit we really want, it's the flattest and most consistent thickness. Then split this again down one of the seams at the front or back. This is where a good pair of scissors really comes in handy. When you're finished, you should be able to fold it out like a big rubber sheet. Now I've split this again down the other seam just to make it handier for me to work with. Take your template and place it in an undamaged part of the rubber sheet and mark around it with your ballpoint pen, as a pencil isn't much use for marking against rubber. Then take your scissors and start cutting out again. You should be able to get more than one pellet holder out of the one Welly butt. It's worthwhile taking your time here, as rubber isn't the easiest thing to cut with a pair of scissors, as it squelches and moves in front of you. Then take your ruler or set square, and starting from 1 cm in from the side, mark 1 cm segments. You should be able to get 4 across this version. Then do the same on the other two sides. You should be able to get 7 marks down this. Then just simply join the dots together with your ruler. When you're finished, you should have a 1 cm square grid made. Then take your punch pliers and punch the centre of each of the X's out. I'm using a 4.5mm punch here, as this seems to give a good size of hole for a .22 pellet, but you'll probably have to experiment with smaller holes for smaller calibers like .20 and 177. But it's quite tedious, especially if you have 50 plus holes to punch out. Don't forget the 2 holes at the top for your paracord. Please don't wear lead pellets next to your bare skin, as lead is a toxic poison and won't do you any good at all. Okay, this is the finished article. Once you have the holes all punched out, this one will actually take 28 pellets. It's 5 centimeters by 7 centimeters, and I've added a 3-foot piece of paracord. This should be big enough to pass over your head even if you're wearing a broad-brimmed hat. They're easy enough to load up. Just take your pellets and push them head first into each of the holes. It takes a wee bit of time, but once you have it done, the thing's totally quiet. It doesn't rattle. The pellets is there, held securely, and they're easy enough to push out with your finger and thumb to reload the rifle. But there you go. One pellet holder from an old Welly boot.